Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Python and today I'm going to be reviewing Call of Duty Black Ops 2 for the Wii U. This is probably the first review of like a full video, well put together, I guess you could say. Because I've definitely seen people who they put their opinions on the game over gameplay, but I'm talking about an actual review from a critical and a fanbase standpoint, what I think of the game. So we'll start off with the campaign, because lots of people, they just say what their multiplayer impressions were, and but that's all they say. They don't mention the campaign or zombies or anything. So the campaign has a very good storyline. It's a very innovative storyline for a first-person shooter game, because it's more emotional than the other games, whereas the other games it was more like, okay, Makarov is a bad guy. He's a bad guy because he murdered a bunch of people at this massacre in an airport, but it's more in depth than say previous games. Since they added the sandbox options, it opens the game wide up for all the endings you could possibly get. I believe there's tons of combinations, but by terms of main ending, there's about 4. Even 4's not a whole lot, but still, it makes you want to go back and replay it. And there's some endings that are pretty shocking if you're a fan of even the first Black Ops campaign, which I thought at the time was the best Black Ops campaign. This is the best Black Ops campaign based on story, for sure. It also brings the creative class over for multiplayer, so I get to sort of design how I want to play out this mission, and there's also multiple paths on each mission, so I get to sort of choose what gun I want to take and how I want to customize my loadout for that mission. It's just like multiplayer. There's also the Strike Force missions. They add a bit of variety as well as change the story. The only thing is that the controls for the Strike Force, they're a bit hard to learn at first, but I guess you could say that for about any game, so that's not a huge deal. And also, the last point I want to mention about the campaign is, well, the voice acting is amazing for the first part. Let me just tell you, Michael Keaton replaces Ed Harris as Jason Hudson. I thought Ed Harris was better as Jason Hudson, but Michael Keaton is still pretty damn good. Just waiting for him to say at some point, "I'm Batman" or whatever, but But some of the voice acting is kind of unrealistic. Like, for example, very minor spoiler in case you've been living under a rock. Sergeant Frank Woods from the first Black Ops came back, and he's 95. He turns out he survived. The only thing is, he sounds the same when he's 95 as he did when he was 33, which was in the first Black Ops or something. He was around that age or whatever. There's times where James Burns adds a bit of mode to my voice, but it's not much. He still gets riled up and he still talks. I like how they added to his character, he still sort of talks like he's just awesome badass. I was expecting missiles to fly out of his wheelchair at some point, though. That kind of sucked. Anyways, of course, the big part, what you guys are probably talking about now, multiplayer. Multiplayer, incredibly satisfying. Oh, actually, sorry, I forgot to give the campaign a score. I would give the campaign score a 9.5 out of 10. Now, the multiplayer has more unlocks than ever before, but the Pick 10 system lets you play the way you want to. You can arrange 10 things any way you want, and it's really awesome. The score streaks reward the objective players, which I've wanted for a long time, because I'm one of those guys who I'm sure lots of you guys have probably experienced the same thing, but you're the only guy on your team playing the objective, and then everyone else is just going around just killing people and ignoring the objective, and you end up losing by a ton because you're the only one who's actually technically trying to win. There's some small issues, the small issues that they had before. They were tweaked for the better. Theater mode's been improved a bit. They added this new highlight reel feature that's really cool. They've improved emblem editor. They've improved matchmaking quite a bit with the whole league play system, which is really cool. The codcasting thing. However, the codcasting, it's on the Wii, but the live streaming isn't available, unfortunately. It also is a bit buggy. That's just because I think of the Nintendo Network thing. In buggy by terms of there's a fair amount of lag and stuff like that, but it's not a huge deal. And the thing I like is that everything they actually sort of had to take away, it was justifiable. For example, the biggest one I thought of was in Modern Warfare 3. You know how you had score streaks or point streaks. They changed so much. Set to each individual class. That was convenient. I could switch point streaks between classes in the middle of the game, and that was nice. But they've taken that away, and now you just have one set. While that sounds bad, it was explained because David Vonderhaar said that there would be some people who would think that score streaks are part of the Pick 10 system, so they separated it, which makes sense to me. There are some people like that. Also, the gamepad support for the dual screen play, as well as the options for dual screen regular play, is just amazing. You know, you can have like your map down there, but really the fun is to be had when you have one person on the gamepad and then one person on the TV screen. So I'm going to give the score a 9.5 out of 10 as well. Now zombies, I'll have to admit I was disappointed with, but it's like one of those things where, for example, like, let's say, I'm trying to think of a good example here. Let's take a Lord of the Rings movie. You know, my least favorite Lord of the Rings movie was the second one. But by saying least favorite, it's still a fucking awesome movie. It's just not as good as the other ones. So let's just take that for example. So Zombies isn't as good as I thought it would be, let's say, but it's still awesome. Well, for the most part, because Green Run is the biggest map ever with the transit mode. There's also a new 4v4 zombie mode where you can, it's called Grief, and you can have 4 people face against each other, and then you try to make the others die out while surviving yourself at the same time. That's quite fun. Theater mode's now in Zombies, so you can, all you horror B movie directors can sort of make your own stuff, like the classic George Romero. It also lets you make custom Zombies games, and maybe if it's a bit too hard for you, you can make it easier, or you can make it harder if you want. The characters are quite funny, but they're not as memorable as like the World War II ones, or all the presidents from 5 or anything like that. Well, the other thing is that you have one huge map in Green Run, but that's all you have. I was hoping for maybe even just a second map so I could get a bit of a change of scenery. And I'd say the whole fun of Zombies is playing as a team and just trying to kill the zombies yourself, but as of now, there's less people playing Zombies than even multiplayer, so Zombies, I'm going to give like an 8. So it's still solid, it's still pretty awesome, but it's just sort of disappointing. I was expecting this to be like a 9 or a 10. Side notes, Jack Wall's score is perfect for the time setting. Like, it's sort of like a rock step, futuristic sort of, it's really cool. And the score by Trent Reznor is pretty awesome as well. Or not the score, but the the theme song. Jeez. It's clearly not a copy-paste game. It's like a game that took some time. Like, I remember with Modern Warfare 3, what I saw a lot in that game is like, you reused gun models, reload animations, stuff like that. My best example is the Scar L. So basically there was the Scar H from Modern Warfare 2. Now the Scar L had the exact same reload animation, exact same iron sights, exact same gun model for the most part. Same stats pretty much, but they give it 10 more bullets in its magazine and slightly less damage, and they call it the Scar L. Oh, so it's a completely different gun now. But nope, there's none of that in this game. There's the M-Tower, but it does look a bit different, has different iron sights, stuff like that. Like, it's still different. It also mixes fiction and reality really well. Like, it has fiction in it, but it's like realistic fiction. So, like, for example, let's say the X-ray scope. If you guys saw the E3 gameplay, you probably saw the X-ray scope on that sniper rifle. That's obviously doesn't exist now, but think about it. Like, they have that sort of technology in like airports and stuff, but in 13 years, odds are they're probably going to be able to put it on a gun as like an optic. The only thing I hate about this game is that this game is like, honestly, the true sequel to Call of Duty 4, I think. And COD can only really go downhill from here, especially with Infinity War making the next game. I don't even know if I'm going to get it. Maybe this will be the first game I play for 2 years. That could be. So overall, I'm going to give this Call of Duty Black Ops 2 9.5 out of 10. Thanks a lot for watching this, guys. Hopefully we'll see you on the battlefield. See you guys later.